He likes to crow when I go live stream, so you know that's is what it is. He just likes to crow. So anyway, before we get started, I do have an announcement. I want to let everybody know about a conference I'm going to be at. It is the 2023 ORG Southwest Conference and Expo here in Texas. It's March 31st to April 1st. It is put on by the ORG, which I'm a member of. My lab is a member of the Orthodontic Resource Group. If you want to pause the video and take a screenshot of the QR code, that'll take you to the registration page. I'd love to see y'all there and meet everybody who watches the live stream and puts up with me on YouTube. So I got some comments coming in. Can you turn up the volume a little? Yes, Steve, let me go do that real quick. Avanzada, oh hey! Dominican Republic, oh awesome. I love watching your videos, by the way. Everybody subscribe to both Avanzada Dental and Zara Dental Lab. They're both YouTubers too. So see you at Lab Day next year. Oh yeah, Lab Day is coming up also in Chicago. So this thing here, oh, let me go turn up my volume a little bit and see if I can change that. Oh, by the way, special guest today is baby ducks. So I do have my usual duck cam, but this time we have some baby ducks. They're over there sleeping. So let me go turn up my volume a bit, and we will get started shortly. Hey, baby ducks. What y'all doing? Y'all stretching? Huh? Y'all stretching? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, somebody hit my fader, and it was probably me that hit the fader on my little thing. So, anyway. That being said, let me take that duck cam off. That being said, we are doing bonded RPE today. So I'm going to try to do it start to finish in under an hour. Sometimes I'm faster than that, sometimes I'm slow. I'm actually not sure how fast I am on these. I just do them. But this is an unusual one. The doctor wants to articulate it. Let me change my camera here. And so I have models here, and these are actually plaster models, totally different from last week where I just did completely digital all the way through. This doctor still does plaster models, and so we are going to use these. And actually, Steve, now that you're here, I actually put one of your videos in the description below, and it's actually using a Biostar to make bonded RPEs. So if you don't know, a bonded RPE is you make a framework and you use acrylic, and the doctors bond it to the occlusion of the teeth, and they use that to expand. The other option is Hyrax, or hygienic, I guess you can say, and it uses bands that go around the teeth, and they are cemented in that method. This one actually provides acrylic coverage on the occlusion on the posterior and allows for expansion. This doctor actually likes me to articulate them. So we're actually going to articulate this, and it's kind of a mishmash of articulation. It's not really. I'm not going to take it articulated all the way through, but we'll articulate it just to do the acrylic. So so I think we're ready to go. All right. So we are going to start. Let's see. I think I have a lower. So we're going to start by prepping the model. Again, this is just a plaster cast, mixed dentition, and usually I start by just picking some of the bubbles. Let me do that. And yeah, that'll work. I'll probably wax out most of this on the occlusion. This is where I'm going to bend my framework wires all the way around here, and probably put my arms here and here. So that's usually where I draw these. And let me zoom in a little bit. There goes Pete again. So this doctor has actually asked me to use mezzanine, this low nickel wire for the actual framework. RPE still has nickel in it, but he wants to use this. He was saying he was getting some tarnishing and stuff under the acrylic, and he thinks it was the nickel content, which I'll just have to believe him. So I'm actually using this nickel content. It is mezzanium, and it's hard wire, not spring hard, but and he likes 032. So a lot of people use 030. A lot of people don't use a framework at all. They'll just bend the RPE arms, and just take the RPE arms and bend them up to here, and you'll see some pictures if you Google bonded RPEs. So that way, then you just cover the whole thing in acrylic. So I'm going to use this mezzanium wire, this nickel-free or low nickel wire. There goes my southern accent. So let me cut a length here. And where's my marking pen? Oh, it's behind my TV here. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. This thing's zoomed in. Nope, wrong way. Go back. Go back. Go back. Okay, there we go. So I like to start on the molar here. I just use my bird beaks, and I'm just going to bend this around. Let's see, what time am I starting here? 12:10. Okay. So actually, I do have a thing. Bend framework. Fancy lower titles. I'm getting fancier by the week. Again, I think I need to zoom out a little bit. Go back. There we go. So now I'm just bending framework. I'm just going to bend both these, and I'm actually going to laser or arc weld these. Another method is to solder these. But it's nice if you solder it. You kind of have to, if you solder, you have to be careful with your model, because if you burn your model, you can, make the plaster crumbly and all that stuff. So I actually bending these, I don't bend them too sharply. All right, going around the corner. Going around the corner. There you go. So those duckies were, the baby ducks were just hatched last week. So they are pretty much brand new babies. And I don't know, next time I switch the camera, I'll have to show you. There's a little bitty one. His name's Bobo, and he's our tiny Tim. He got a little lame foot. So we gotta give him some physical therapy to get his foot back in order. Both of his feet were kind of he took some special care, and that was the fun part. So he got snuggled a lot by both my wife and my daughter and kids. Let me get some 3 prongs in here. So what I'm just going to do is line up these two side by side right here. Again, I'm just doing the framework. I just bend these one at a time, and I'm going to laser weld them or arc weld them together. And there we go. I'm not the best wire bender in the world, but I can get pretty close to being, I can fake it. There we go. Again, I try to, these live streams, I try to keep them under an hour, so my goal is to try to make this start to finish. I think I've had too much caffeine this morning. My hands are shaking. Okay. And there we go. Need my smaller 3-prong here. I'm going to try to flatten this wire. I want them pretty flat together. It helps with welding them together. If I get my 3-prong in there. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Oh, time to turn on the 3-prong. Sorry, 3-prong, the laser welder. Alright. Well, that doesn't look like it's in focus, does it? Let's tap this thing. There we go. That's better. Okay. So, I'm going to turn this to my setting I like to use, which is this big setting. And not pretty, but it gets the job done. This low nickel, it doesn't flow very good. I probably should use a little bit lower setting, but all this is going to be under the acrylic, so it'll be okay. All right, so then I just tack this down with some sticky wax over this and the other one. So I'm going to get my another piece of wire here. Let's move this over. I'll straighten this out. I don't like it curved like that. It throws me off. All right, so doing the same thing. So we did one side. I try to keep it about the middle of the crown, so the acrylic, so we don't hit it when we go to trim acrylic. I try to scallop these the best I can. That's what the doctor wanted, to have these scalloped just for hygienic reasons, so it doesn't trap food against the gums and stuff like that. So and there we go. And turn the corner. There we go. Let me know in the comments what type of bonded RPE do y'all do the most? Do y'all do thermoform version? Like I have a video of Steve in the description. He also has a video of doing this type. I can't remember if that video is articulated or not, or if it's just sprinkling, doing the cold cure acrylic by hand. But I did link to the Biostar, which to me makes the most sense. Doing these Biostar, but the doctor I work for, he does not like thermoformed plastics at all. In fact, I actually had a splint sent back to me because he thought it was thermoform. I actually nailed it. He goes, the thickness, the clarity, it was too perfect to be made by hand. And I was like, no, I made that by hand. I know you don't like thermoforming. I didn't make thermoform retainers. or I didn't make that thermoform, because I did for a little bit. I got one of those new Orthoforms from Glidewell Direct, and it's got that articulator on there, articulating arm, so you can actually do a suck down of thermoform, and then you can swing the arm over and impress the occlusion into the still melted thermoform plastic, which is, it's pretty cool. Now, getting them off is another issue in itself. You definitely break off all the teeth. Let me cut that. Again, I usually just make my little connection here. I don't know why. I just do it on the first molar. So even if there's 7s on here, the second molars, even if there's the second molars, I still make my connection on the first molar. I couldn't tell you why. Just, you know, you just kind of got to come up with your own methods for doing things. All right. There we go. And man, Pete is on top of things. I don't know if there's hawks flying over. He usually warns when there's something going on. Warns his ladies, as we call it, his hens. Pete the rooster. So I've gotten that. This is a little off, but I think it's okay on the front. I got that parallel right there. So I'm going to, I need to make a little more parallel. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit flared off from each other. So I'm just going to bend it down. There we go. So now let's go to the other camera. This camera. And ground it. And actually I'm going to use just a lower setting on here and just see the difference. So hopefully you can see that. That is the lower setting. So it actually looks cleaner. You know, you can keep going. I can do the inside if I want. I usually don't bother with it. I think it's pretty durable just doing that one side. Now notice I use the lower setting. It's not near as burnt. And this. Let's see, what color is this? Miss Chris. So it's a glitter color. So it's going to be clear monomer, so you're going to be able to see this. So I usually, after I get the framework all put together, I usually high shine the metal framework before I put acrylic on. All right, so now we're ready for the RPE. So I'm using, this is what the doctor has requested, Leone 620, just a classic, and this doctor likes the 9mm version. So I'll put that in the pan there. So here we go. So arrow's always pointing distally. I'm just going to bend them. Put them down, and there we go. Yeah. This doctor has requested I try to keep these about 5mm off of the roof of the mouth. I'm going to draw this midline. Okay. And so this is regular pink base plate wax. This thickness is about 1mm. So that's 2 and 3. And if I cut some more here, this is 4, 5. So yes, it's really tall. So I'm going to melt it, and it ends up being about 4. So again, I'm going to melt this down, make it nice and soft. Okay, and I'm going to push my into that molten wax, and this is just going to once the wax melts, once it cools, it creates a framework for me to put the RPE in there. Because I'll bend the RPE, I'll bend the arms, I'll mark it, but I'm not holding it in the right spot, and it'll get kind of off kilter at some point. So making sure it is lined up midline-ishly. I'll actually take this off, make sure I can see it like this. Make sure it's level this way. I'll take a pin or something I can see the level. So yeah, that's level with the occlusion. And I'm gonna let that cool. While it's cooling, here's the duck cam again. The baby ducks. So there's Bobo. Bobo's over there on the right hand side, and he's a little darker than the other ones, and he's got a little lame foot. So again, these are my wife's ducks. She raises ducks. That's her hobby. That's her love. And she just hatched these last week, and so they're all brand new. But the three over there were hatched first. Little Bobo over there took his time to hatch, and actually was still in egg form for a few hours after he was born. We had to like stretch him out and make sure his neck worked and everything. His poor little web feet are they're slowly stretching out finally, and he can walk around. I'll try to keep an eye out whenever he's walking around. He kind of limps around. Again, he's our tiny Tim of the group. Okay, so this is probably cool enough, and I'm going to remove this off. Oh, took a little bit with me. I didn't wait long enough. But you can see there's just a little bit of a framework, a matrix in there. So now this should, I don't want to say the word click, but it should place in there the exact same way every time. So now I can just closer to let me get some 3-prong in here. There we go. Get these back ones where I want them. And your goal is to try to touch all these evenly, and you'll be able to tell if you're touching the wire prematurely. You can see down this way. I'm not touching here, or I'm barely touching there. I'm touching there pretty hard, and then you'll see a space between the wax and the screw. You see a space if you're really touching hard or making contact. So I'm going to just curl these just a bit. Again, I just put it right back on that matrix. And again, if I'm using soldering to do all this, I think Steve Zara has some pretty good videos on actually how to tack weld these using his laser welder and his spot welder. So you can actually tack weld all this together and then take it off and solder it all. Again, because you don't want to ruin the stone when you go to solder. So I think I'm pretty close there. So I'm going to mark this just right above where that framework wire is going across. Mark and mark it. Boom. And I'm going to shoot this across the room. No, I'm just kidding. Into the trash. Sometimes it hits the edge. Oh, that one bounced. What I really need is a ricochet sound. Got some comments. Thank you. Good job. Oh, yeah. Yasser? You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully this helps out a lot of people. This is just another method of doing a bonded RPE. Again, you don't have to articulate these. I'll get to that. To touch. And actually I have one here. Let me show you. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I actually have I can see how high that's sticking up. You can either laser weld all these and then cut them off, or cut them beforehand. Now, there is a little bit of a danger cutting them off beforehand, because if you're not using that matrix and you hold the screw wrong, and when you mark it, like you could be holding it way up here like that and not be paying attention. You could mark it and you cut it too short, and you pretty much just ruined that that RPE screw. So notice I've flattened those down a little bit. That way they don't stick up out of the acrylic. And I think I've got them all touching. So I'm going to hold this down. I'm just going to attach wax to wax right here just to hold this in place so it doesn't shift around on me while I'm trying to arc weld these to the framework. Okay, so. Oh, thank you. Shanasha. Oh, I hope I'm saying that right. I am terrible at names, so I'm sorry. It's just my southern accent. All right, let's change cameras here. I'm going to have to zoom in on that again. Come on. Focus. So I'm actually going to increase the arc weld setting, and I'm just going to go to the side of here. Ooh, this might be a good one. This might show up pretty good. There we go. I usually try to get 2 or 3. Oh, I never did. I thought I hit the button. I didn't. That's why I'm not getting a good bonding. So let me. There we go. And up here, let's do that again. Now you got to make sure this thing doesn't. Oh, that's not touching anymore. So I'm going to bond weld back here where it is. All right, I'm going to double check this. Something went off on it, which, you just got to be careful. So this is not touching. And either it wasn't touching before, or I've done something. So the front ones actually aren't touching. This one, I'm going to loosen up this wax here. Oh, you can't see anything. Pay attention, Cade. So this, I'm going to re-wax that, and then I'm going to take my 3 prongs, a little bit. I'm going to hold down the screw with my thumb, and I'm just going to tilt that into the wire. There we go. There we go. All right, we got it now. Switch cameras again. And laser weld. Ka-ching. Nope. Ka-ching. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I probably can't see that. I just got to get the right angle. Again, I try to tack these 3 times. One on each side of the RPE arm, and then one right on the, I guess, the occlusal side. This side, that side, and that side. Again, this is all going to be buried under acrylic. There we go. I got that. And then if you want to be extra careful, oh, good job on the name. Good job pronouncing the name. Hopefully I did that. Steve, does the puck have a spot weld setting? That's what I do before weld. Yes, it does. It does have a spot weld setting. Actually, let me change my camera angle. I'll show you. For those that have a spot weld, let me switch the ducks so I can change my camera angle here. And let's see if I can hold this with one hand. Okay. It's not very stable, but here is my, actually it's kind of annoying. I got to press this button in, and it goes into what we call fixing. I held it too long. So go back. Fixing. So then you can adjust the power and actually have it set. I have a foot pedal at the bottom, and then it's telling you to plug in. So this is my ground lead that I use whenever I laser weld, and this is have it in my drawer here. I plug in another lead here, and then I can tuck spot weld, and then I can set the setting there. So let me go back, and I'll show you what my settings were. I go to my stainless steel, and this is what I was using just to do that 032 wire, that framework wire part, and then to attach the RPE arm to the framework, I was using that. So those are my settings. So if you have a puck, those are the two settings I use to make my bonded RPEs. So let's go back to the ducts. I'm going to actually see if I can shoot this across here. It's not that important, but all right. So thanks for sharing your knowledge and experience. Nice job. Oh, thank you. Viagra? I'm so sorry. That just popped out of my mouth. I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah, you'll have to tell me how to pronounce that. But, yeah, I apologize. So, okay. Let me switch to this camera here. I'm going to show you. Oh, let me do this camera first. So I pulled that off the model. I'm just kind of taking the wax off. Now I'm just going to high shine. So notice I used, you can't see that. What am I doing here? Pulled this off the model, took the wax off, and I'm going to just high shine this. See how it's kind of burnt? That's just a too high setting. Can you see that? A white. Or I need more light. So let me high shine this. So I got my lathe over here. Oh, ultrasonic's on. And I have a acrylic wheel and I have a metal wheel. So I'm just going to put the metal wheel on, and I use this green rouge metal polish, and I just, hit all the weld joints, and my fingers. So I don't know if you can see that. Walking back around. Okay, so now we have a nice polished RPE framework. All right, so next stage, and that is prepping the model for acrylic. There we go. I'm just removing that wax I had put there, and I actually wax out a lot, so just fair warning. I don't want any surprises, any like fissures or little tiny holes that prevents the acrylic. Again, I'm covering this whole thing in acrylic, this whole occlusal area. So I'm just gonna wax out, and there's like a broken piece of the tooth right there. Let me wax that out. And in all the fossa area. There we go. Again, I'm just playing it safe, and it gives a little bit of space for the glue to flow underneath. That looks like a bubble right there, so I'm going to fill that in. Again, if there's a hole in the plaster or something, the acrylic will get in there, and then the whole RPE unit will not work. Put a little here. I think we're good. Anywhere I think it's rough, anywhere where I think it wasn't a good impression, yeah, there we go. That just looks a little bit better. And that's it. So I'm going to put my first, I have this pink wax here, and it's stopped up. Well, let me get a paintbrush ready. There we go. So I usually put 2 layers of this, but I'm going to show, this is the bite. Usually I get a wax bite if it's a difficult bite, but it's pretty obvious what this bite is. You can see, you know, there's crowding here and why they need expansion and all that stuff. So let me go get the articulator. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Vagara are the initials of my name, but everyone calls me Teddy. Oh, Teddy. Okay, I'll try to remember that. I like Teddy. Vagara. Vagara. I like it. That's cool. Okay. Here is my Galetti articulator. Let me zoom out just a bit so y'all can see better. Wrong way, Cade. Wrong way. Zoom out the correct way, please. Or let me move this camera over a bit. Too many cameras. You can see how my desk is super messy right now. Where is my pliers? My favorite pliers are somewhere. So if y'all saw my 5 tips for doing a acrylic on 3D printed models, you may have saw a bunch of these that I'm using today, and it's plaster bases. You can get a better one here. You can see from this angle, it's pretty dirty. So I just used one of these deflasking knives. Steve does these. You probably knows what these are. Deflasking knife, I think it's for dentures. I'm going to go ahead and mount this on here. All right, I just need a nice base for the Galetti, and sometimes these models aren't big enough. Again, this is kind of a temporary mounting for the models. Again, I'm not going to like occlusal equilibrate these. I'm just going to trim them flat, but I do need the Galetti to make my thicknesses the same thickness. Oh wait, I have a band. I have a. Oh, they're saying hi, Teddy. I have a banner. I have a bin framework. We were there. Okay, prep for acrylic. So that's what we're doing now. I'm going to go ahead and paint my second coat. Some of this is all right. Kind of gets a little annoying. I'm going to go ahead and mount this in here. And I'm just going to hand tight that. I usually have pliers here, but I think I can just get away with hand tightening it. All right. I'm going to mount the upper. I just love these Galettis. So let's see, do I have a better angle here? So I'm going to loosen my ball joint here. Loosen this down here. I'm going to occlude these together. Make sure they're nice and snug. And then I'm going to just lightly, very lightly do these. So, and the reason is this doctor has asked that he wants the anterior thicker than the posterior. So he wants a slight increase. Now there's times that we don't do this, and that's because there's an open bite or something. But in most of the cases, the Galetti is perfect for this because I can create that ramp that creates a little bit of loosen these up. That creates, there we go. Make sure this is down. I'm just going to hold it and just, just 1 or 2 millimeter. I don't even know if y'all saw that. It is not much. So I'm going to crank this setting down. I'm going to crank this down. There we go. All right. So now you can see there is a little bit of a rise. So he wants the front thicker than the posterior. So now I'll use this control here and open her up. Now make sure all these are snug. I'm just going to open them up just to where there's about 2 millimeters thickness in the back, 2 to 3. And again, this looks like more of an open bite because these down here are not erupted. Let me change cameras real quick. There we go. So you can see this looks crazy, right? This looks like a lot of space, but if you look at this side, it's not. So you can see why we use the Galetti, because a lot of these bites are not even, but I want them to be safe. So let me see if I can redo this and undo that, unscrew that. So we have the bite. Okay, it's right where we want it. Got the midline together, and then I'm just going to ever slightly, and I got to hold everything in position. I'm just going to push up the anterior, just a millimeter or so. So like maybe 2 millimeters thickness in the back is what he wants, 3 in the front. Again, it all depends on the bite of the kid. Again, these are all erupting, so that looks like a lot of space right there compared to this side. So I'm going to open this up using this screw right here. I'm going to open it up and set the set screw so I don't lose that. I got some of that blue hot glue in there. There we go. I got my settings where I want it. That should be pretty comfortable for the kid. It's got the ramp the doctor wants. And so when I sprinkle it, it'll be the exact thickness we need. Again, I've just temporarily hot glued this in. I'm going to remove it off right after the pressure pot. So another thing in Galetti, I can take this apart. I'm going to put my framework back on. Now I've already painted this twice, so it's properly separated. I'm going to make any final adjustments to the framework that I need to. If I think it's flaring up, if I think it's going to stick out a little too far, I will just make just slight little indentions. There we go. Yeah, that can actually go in a little bit more. I mean, you don't want it touching the tooth because you want the acrylic to go all the way around, or else you're going to get, bacteria getting in there and causing a problem. So right now I'm just going to wax the tack weld that down, and here comes the hot glue gun. See if I can do it. Oh, you know what? I don't want my acrylic to get into that screw, so I have some utility wax. Same wax that they would use on their bracelets. So I'm just going to block the threads. Just block that screw, protect it from the acrylic. I'm not as controlled with my acrylic as some people, so I take plenty of precautions and just do a lot of blocking out. Now the Steve Zara video that I linked below, there's another one, a part 1, where he does it sprinkling like this, but he controls his his acrylic a lot better than I do. I like to build in a lot of safeguards. So I have my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to create a border. I got this hot glue gun from Great Lakes, and I get the blue glue sticks from them too. I just really like the blue. At first I thought it was weird, but I really like how bold it is. I think they also sell these for mounting these on regular articulators where you can hold the occlusion together. But this is a wireless hot glue gun, and again, I'm making sure I don't cover the gum line because I want to capture that in the acrylic. And to me, it just saves on getting acrylic everywhere. I need to load up a new thing. There we go. Sometimes, oh, my stomach's growling. I guess I'm hungry. I gotta stop doing these at noon. All right, so that's it. That is the prepping for acrylic. So it is ready to go for the acrylic. I need to set up that camera. So, duck view. Well, I set up the camera over here. Let me get a paper towel for this. And let's see, Miss Pris. Switch cameras here. There you go. Oh yeah, I'm glad you are talking to each other. Awesome. Etc. Ortho Lab. Oh, that's a cool name. That's awesome. Oh yeah, where is everybody from? That's important. I love connecting ortho labs from all over the nations here. Let me get that there. I think we are ready. I need to zoom out a little bit. That's a little zoomed in. There we go. So I'm going to grab my articulator. And we are ready for acrylic. Do I have a banner for this? Can I make this? Oh, Steve is from Michigan, a great state of Michigan. Oh, I don't have a banner for this. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to separate that for right now. I like to use my tinted monomer to make it like super clear, and then this is what they asked for on the script. And that's one good thing about doing sprinkled acrylic versus Ballstar. Ballstar, you get a couple choices of colors and stuff, but sprinkled acrylic, I got 80 different colors they could choose from. So what am I looking for? Oh, I was going to double check the script. Always double check the script. Okay, Miss Pris, yes. All right, so I'm just going to start building up acrylic. Again, you can see I'm not... You know what? I don't like that camera angle. All right, I think I'm going to change the camera angle. Let's go back to the baby ducks. Baby ducks. Sorry guys, I just need to get a good view for y'all, and my hands keep blocking the view. So, there we go. I think that'll work. Back to the program. These kids, they love these all these colors to choose from. So I'm pretty much just pouring it on one side, and then I'll freeze that, do the occlusion. I just kind of work my way around to both sides, just getting a general coating. I will switch to clear acrylic powder in a minute to finish off. I don't want the glitter showing through when we go to polish this. So get your questions ready. Once we get this in the pressure pot, we gotta wait a few minutes, and then I can answer some questions while we wait. Oh, we got a little. There's one bad thing about the hot glue is it leaves little hairs. It looks like hair. Again, I'm just working my way around. Oh man, I really got some hairs on here. This isn't hair, it's the hot glue string. Again, that's one of the bad things. Again, I'm just slopping this stuff on. Make sure that one doesn't slump on me. And one of the things I like to do, you know, usually I say I put a clear coat underneath my retainers so I can put my name in there, but on these I like to put the colored acrylic, the glitter, whatever, right directly on there. It makes it easier to see the gum line when I go to trim it. If I put a clear coat on there, it's kind of iffy if I can see it or not. Alright, so now we're ready to put this on the articulator. And move this out of the way. Slap it in here. And then I'm going to put the teeth together. You can see I got a lot of buildup to do. And the doctor may actually grind all that down. I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to give him... It's easier to remove acrylic than to add. So I've always been told that, you know, when the doctors are chairside, they rather remove acrylic than add. Of course, they would love to have it, you know, absolutely perfect, but we can't have that all the time. So better to err on, just like when you're fitting bands, better to err a little bit bigger than smaller, because smaller won't fit the mouth at all. Bigger will, and then it will usually work. So there we go. I'm gonna open this up just a little bit. I see I've got, oh, that's why. My thing moved. Always double check that. There we go. I can see right that posterior pad right there is hitting my wire right there. So I had to open up just a little bit more than I wanted to accommodate for that wire being there. Okay, so fill this back in. And I usually sprinkle it to just the posterior teeth, just the bicuspids or the, you know, premolars area. So there we go. I'm just touching right there. That's perfect. I might add just a tad. Check this side. I'm not touching right there. Again, these aren't erupted all the way, but I'm going to go ahead and touch those. If the doctor wants to remove the acrylic, he can. And that way, he can allow those teeth to erupt. And we're touching there. All right, so I think we are good back here. Kind of got a little janked up a bit back here. And you know what? I think we are ready for the pressure pot. So, again, I just put it in the pressure pot. You know, it's nothing fancy. And so we'll give it, 5 minutes or so. All right, so we're waiting on the pressure pot. We've put the acrylic on, we've bent the wire, we've bent the framework, that kind of thing. So, oh, India. Oh, very cool. Steve Zara, thank you for welcoming the guest for us. Kerala, I don't know what that means. Is that the town? Yes, I love Indian food. It's very similar to Peruvian food. Is that where you're at, Teddy? Is that you're in Peru? Oh, nice. And we got another question. Hey, what kind of acrylics do you use? By the way, useful stream. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. Put a like if you like the stream. I use JBC and Company acrylics. All my acrylics are JBC and Company. It just makes it easier. As you can see behind me, I have all the colors that she offers, that Priscilla offers. Priscilla's the owner. She used to be a lab owner for 30 years, and then she's created her own line of acrylics, and was actually the first FDA-approved orthodontic acrylic. So that's what I use. And the clear I was using is actually a mix. Let's see if I have a big. I buy it in big 5-pound bottles, super fine clear splint polymer. So I use this for splints. I use it for retainers. But she also sells different versions, a full splint acrylic and then like a regular acrylic, easier to trim, bigger pieces, less slumping, a lot less slumping. And then there's, of course, a splint, you got too much slumping. So she actually has made a blend of the two together. So regular acrylic, splint acrylic, and this is a mixture between splint and acrylic. And so this is really good to use for bonded RPEs, because honestly, it's kind of like a splint on there. So that's where we are at. Let's do this. And oh, the ducks are active. Look at that. Let me go wash my hands. I'm gonna go pick up little Bobo and let you see while we're, so. And in case you're just now joining, we're waiting on the acrylic to cure, and then we'll get right into trimming. I'm not gonna make an hour, but hopefully y'all enjoy this stream. Yeah, just keep asking your questions, and we'll get them answered. Again, I'm using a Leone screw, and this is kind of, I don't know what you would call this, Steve. Do you have an articulated bonded RPE? Probably one of the more difficult ones to do. All right, let's get little Bobo. Come here, little Bobo. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's little Bobo. Say hi. Oh, I scared them all. Yeah, and he's got a little lame foot right here. See, it doesn't spread out all the way. But that's little Bobo. I think this one is, I think a kid named it Pippa. This is Pippa. And who are you? You're Leo. Leo, the dad's name was Leonard, so this is Leo. And the other one's Dot, or Dottie, because she has a little dot on her head. It's the only way we can tell them apart. They all look alike, but yeah. All right, let's go check on that RPE. Wash my hands again, of course. Also, to answer your question, this is cold cure acrylic. It is. I put it in the pressure pot. So, please show us your solder machine. Solder machine. So I have. This is what I use for solder. Right here. This is my solder machine. So there's just solder and stuff. So that's my little solder area. But if you're asking, this is my pulse arc welder. It's a Lampert D5, and I got it from JBC. So my acrylic, when I order acrylic, I can order new. It uses little electrodes, little tiny electrodes, to do the welding, the plasma welding, and I can get all my parts from there. I got a new sharpener. I'm so happy. So you got to keep those sharp. And let's see, I got a little. How's this work? Where's my thing? There's a button somewhere. I can't see it. So that thing spins and it'll sharpen my tips. So that's my pulk. Pulk? All right. So Steve, I used to use a Galetti. I haven't had to articulate in 15 years. Just 2mm Biostar. Make about 5 or 10 a week. So yeah, look at his video below. You can pump those out with a Biostar a lot. So they are. Let's see. Yeah, the Biostar is probably the fastest way out, and you make it perfectly even. So really no need to articulate because it's the same thickness no matter what. Those ducks stay with you guys. They grow to be big ducks. Yes. So Leonard, the father of those, he was my father-in-law's favorite duck. He would follow along, and you could pick him up and walk with him and stuff. And he was a Indian runner. If you ever seen those, I guess they're from India, but they walk upright. So they, let's see. I don't know if you can tell on this or not, but they walk upright. Some of these will walk upright. So these are probably going to go back to our father-in-law. So we're going to raise them until they get big ducks and try to handle them as much as we can to tame them a little bit. And our father-in-law has a pond, and so the ducks love his pond. So we release them out there, and they go swimming around and stuff. So that's what we do. Oh, you're welcome. Hello, Shazeb Khan. I'm from Pakistan. I'm an ortho technician. Very cool. I love that we're ortho technicians from all over the world watching this. So very cool. So let me get this out of the pressure pot, and we'll start trimming on that. So I will move to the more interesting camera right now while I get set up. Excuse me. I'm trying to get a good angle here. All right, let me switch cameras. And so usually this sets up in about 5 minutes or so. And you can see it's already separated. You know that it doesn't last long in there, so but I don't need the Galetti anymore. All my trimming is going to be. Oh, there's my pliers. I found them. Those are my favorite Galetti pliers. Are pretty gentle, but here is it's finished, nice and cured. I'm just going to lift up, remove it. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, get it out of my way. I don't know how much y'all clean y'all's models before you turn them into the doctor. That's about what I send. And then here is the blue stuff. This is my favorite part. You can just peel that out. And then, hopefully you can see, yeah. Oh, the glitter is kind of making it weird. You should be able to see the gum line where I'm going to trim to. Let's pull that out. Pull that out. And just go ahead and bulk remove this wax. And I'm going to go steam it real quick. So, let me go steam the wax. I'll give you all the duck cam while I steam this. Sorry for the sound. Should have warned y'all. All right. We are ready. New angle. All right. There you go. Let's zoom this in, make it bigger. Where are you from? I am from Texas in United States. So that's where I'm from. Oh, Shazib does not work on. Oh, I'll have to follow you on Instagram. So yeah, I'll have to follow you and I'll look you up. And then of course, yeah, Steve Zara is the most famous on Instagram, I think. Maybe Maria or Spartan not be as big as you, Steve. Macedonia, orthodontic technician. Very cool. I'm glad everybody's here. Awesome. So now we are, I think I have a fancy banner here. We're ready for, we just prepped for acrylic. We did the acrylic. Now we're ready to trim the acrylic. We got a fancy banner. So let me move my thing here and see if I can get a couple angles. Make sure I'm on the right camera. Steve, remember last time I did the whole trimming process and it wasn't even on the it wasn't even on the thing. All right. Wrong chair, wrong chair. Should have put the ducks on there, I guess, so y'all can see. So I have my models here, and I got this idea from Steve on his videos. I put my lathe through my box. I guess I can show you the box. This is box. This is mainly where my wife works, and so I have a camera up here so you can see a little bit better. But I got that idea from Steve. I put the lathe in there, and so then it's all contained. All the trimming is contained in there. So let me turn the suction on here and turn my lathe on, and hopefully y'all can see okay. I did have to switch my light because my other light was causing weird light bars on it. So I'm just going to go as close to that front wire as possible, and then I'm just trimming as close to the gum line as possible as I feel safe to do. Again, I can trim all the way to that wire on the back, and I'm holding it in a different angle so I can see that gum line, and then work that in there, work that in there, and trim that as close to the wire as possible, because I know the wire is distal of the gum line, so I can get close to the wire. I still won't hit the gum line. There we go. Let's do the inside over here. Again, I'm just trying to get as close to the gum line without going into it. And this is by request of the doctor. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of flatten this a bit. I'll do a little bit more with the hand piece, but let me get it nailed down. I'm trying to keep it as level as possible. Alright, let me change my camera angle here. Try not to get sick while I do this. There we go. There we go. I think that's it. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'm going to turn this off. And one thing I like to do is this stainless steel bristle brush. That helps me get close. I can actually hit the wire and not worry about damaging the wire. Although, you know, the RPE wires are pretty thick. Again, I'm going to the gum line on this lingual side, and then I'll flip to the other side and just connect those two together. So now I have cleaned up, made that nice and clean. And I'm going to get a pretty good burr. I'm going to contour. Ooh, I got some sunlight. How in the world did I get sunlight in this box? I guess it's at the perfect right angle. Again, I'm just trimming around the gum line. I don't want to get too close. Get out of here. Again, getting close to this. So it is scalloped, I guess, is what you could call it. I'm gonna get all this border part. I have a really good Cree light in this box usually, but it's the wrong frequency for filming on. It makes little dark and light bars. So I'm actually using a lamp that actually Steve suggested. I think from a nail YouTube channel, they recommended this one that does the fingernails. Have you ever watched those? Those are pretty cool. Working with almost the same material as us and doing the same artwork. Let me close these blinds. I think the differences in the lights are changing they get a little bit of, I got a little too high on that hot glue up on that wire, but I'll fix it in a second. So pretty much I'm just going around the border, trying to make it all even and comfortable for the patient. So I'm going to grab the model, snap this on here, and I look for, you know, how much does it stick out on the sides, how much does it stick out on the sides over here. You can see it's got a pretty good ramp, but I think mainly that's from these teeth down here not erupting all the way, so you can kind of see that. Let me go get a plaster base real quick, and I'll show you what I like to do. There we go. Am I on the right screen? I am on the right screen. Good. Ah! Careful, Cade. Okay, so I like to take one of these plaster bases and just use it as a level. So I just look to see, make sure it's flat this side and that side. You don't want it to be, at an angle here. Sometimes these teeth, they'll flare out, a curve of Wilson or Spee or whatever that is. So I'm going to just flatten it a little bit more. And I'll look for those little divots from the lower cuspids. I gotta be careful of that area there. There we go. So it's flat. I'll take off a little bit. If it's not flat, I'll just take off the part that's touching the most. And that seems to be on the inside here. I'm trying to get this to where you can see it too. There you go. Yeah. This one's a little bit of a difficult case because the occlusion hasn't set yet, so it's very. There we go. I think I like that. I'm going to switch to a finer tooth burr. And proceed to smooth this out. Blend all my areas together. So there is just a little bit of hot glue. Get out of there, hot glue. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, it being encased in acrylic. But again, hot glue has its benefits and its drawbacks. So you just kind of got to decide what works best for the way you work. I don't have much patience when it comes to. Ooh, I kind of gouged that. When it comes to acrylic. So I usually spend more time prepping for the acrylic and trimming than I do actually doing the acrylic, where you can actually do a lot of this work in the acrylic, and you don't have to worry about any other things. There we go. Got a little sandpaper. This will help the pumicing go much smoother. I don't know if any of y'all ever use this, but I truly enjoy it. It really, really makes the pumicing go a lot faster, because this will smooth out all the burr marks from the burr you just used. And it's just one step in between the fine grit of the pumice and the rough of the burr. I'll get in here, try to smooth that out a little bit. I'll pumice that just slightly. And you can actually move your thumb. You can kind of guide that sandpaper where you need it. So let's test this one more time. Test it, baby, one more time. There we go. It is ready for pumice. So let me go get set up over there. And here is the duck cam. Oh, they're napping. That's right under the heat lamp. So they're gathering under that heat lamp to to stay warm together. Okay, I have my models over here. And
we got some comments. Holy cow. Finishing, yeah, I'm finishing these. I've also have a polished box. I saw it with Steve Zara and adapted it. Yeah, unfortunately, Steve and I talked about this. The guy that made these boxes, they don't make those boxes anymore, so kind of have to make your own. Yeah, Prosto work. Thank you, Steve, for your idea. Yeah, that was great idea. Do you do Prosto work? Heart, self-cure. Yeah, that's what this acrylic is that I'm using. So let me get the camera set up in the pumice area. Hopefully y'all be able to see this. Okay, just setting up. Wetting up my acrylic. Let's see. There's the camera, and make sure I'm on the right camera over here. I am not. Something has gone wrong. Oh, now it does it. Well, that was late. Let's just go full blown on that. Get a little, I'm wetting my wheel here. I just got a simple rag wheel. And I use PS Dazzle. Steve, what do y'all use for pumice? Just regular pumice? I use this pumice substitute. I just think it does a really nice job. So I just work my way around the border with a little rolling method. Try not to dig into the gum line there. Oh, and sling it out of my hand. You know, like you do, like we all do. Work that inside. Make it smooth for the tongue. Okay, that should be it for pumicing. Again, I'm gonna just hit this little corner right there. There we go. There we go. Just one last little all around. Love having a nice new wheel. Man, it makes the job easier. Alright, so I'm gonna rinse this. I'm gonna steam it. Get the try to get all the pumice off of the threads of the screw. And let me dry this off so you can actually see what this looks like. So this is after it's pumiced. So you should, oh, I see the spot I need to pumice. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. Go do the other side. All right. Then let's see if I can move this over here. Oh, I need to change my wheel. Take off my metal wheel and I'm gonna put my acrylic wheel on. Use this is Hashan from JBC. I think it's her formulation. I'll go ahead and hit the screw a little bit, shine that up. And I probably should have hit this arm a little bit.
And you gotta love this this glitter. It makes it fun. It makes the kids, you know, they get all sorts of colors, and I think they really get a kick out of. Nobody sees it though. They gotta open their mouth pretty wide for people to see it. But that's it. That's High Shine. We are done. Let me switch over to the ducks, and we will finish off by showing this under the good camera. Let me get my chair over here. The ducks are still preening themselves, it looks like. Okay. Polishing. Yeah, we're polishing. He died. Who died? What is that to? Casalego lab charges. Sir Holly retainer price in Texas. Sir Tell. Oh, they range. All right. So if you go to the Facebook forum, ORG Tech Talk, there was some talk on there. In Texas, it ranges. I have a friend of mine, and she's $60 and above for a Holly. Just the base price. And then there's somebody that's close by to me that's $27. So it's a broad range. I don't know what's included in that. The $27 one may charge like an infection fee of of $10. It just totally changes. So it's 60 above, and I'm more on that end for my prices. So Whip Mix 60 Gradient. Ooh, is that pumice substitute or is that actual pumice for Ducktastic job? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, okay, we are at the final, and this is it. This is our final. We are done. We got polished with it. I've contoured as much as I could along the gums. It's kind of hard when they're, still erupting and stuff. So that is, there we go. That is it. We got it done in a little over an hour. Again, I get to talking, get to monologuing, and that's where we're at with that. So that's the inside, and that's where the glue will go. And if you want, I was gonna say do Steve Zara's mineral oil trick right there, but again, you may not want to do that because they got to use glue. I still need to steam this out and put it in the ultrasonic to clean it, but I thought I'd skip that so y'all could jump straight to the final product. So, Pakistan $15 Holly retainer. That US dollars? So the economy's completely different. Again, huge range here in Texas, and I think East Coast, West Coast. I don't know what it is in Michigan, Steve, but you're looking 60 easily US dollars for a Holly, and that's just base fee for a lot of labs. And again, there's you want to add 2 clasp, and it's another $10, and then you 3D print the model, and that's another $16 or something like that. Yeah. Oh, US dollars. So probably the dollar has a lot more value in Pakistan than it does here. We've kind of hitting some inflation. No oil on bond. Yes. Yeah, so I almost said use that trick, but yeah, don't use the mineral oil on the Bond. It won't stick because they got to put glue on here and then put it on the teeth. So that being said, so I want to thank everybody for sticking it out with me. I appreciate all your input in the chat. Love this. I love the chat, and thanks Steve for moderating for me. Why is this blurry? I was like, my glasses off. I couldn't see myself. But again, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, I would love to see y'all at the conference. I have it here. Y'all can snap a picture of it or pause it or whatever y'all need to do. I'll try to put a link in the description below. I'll be at the conference in 40 or so days. I'll be at the conference. I would love to see y'all there. I'd love to meet y'all there if y'all can make it. But you got to fly into Irving. There is a discounted room rate, $138 a night. So last year Steve was there, so I got to meet Steve for the first time. Look at his Instagram page. There's a picture of me and him together at the conference last year. So hopefully Steve can go again. 55 to 85, including 3D. Yeah. See, there's a big range depending on, and it's the quality also. So yeah, I love America too. So I saw some really cool pictures of Pakistan in the 60s. What a difference. What a difference. It was really cool. Me too. User Insta ID. Oh, mine is Tippett Lab. Steve Zara's is Zara Dental Lab. So, yeah. I'm going. Oh, you're going? You're going to go? That'd be awesome if you're going. Registration is open. It's $400 for both days. You get lunches included, and you get a free T-shirt, ORG T-shirt, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So check that website out. You can see all the classes. I'm not going to teach a class this year. We're full up with better educators than me, but I'm helping put it on. So I'm running the live stream there. So we won't have a live stream that weekend, but I might sneak a free live stream to my viewers here if y'all are interested in that. So again, I appreciate everybody being in on the live stream. Ducks are sleeping. Yeah, it's nap time for them. So next week I'll try to get a video of them. They're going to be a lot bigger next week. So tune in next week. Subscribe. You'll get and click the bell. You'll get notifications of when I go live. And again, I'm just going live stream every Friday at noon Central Standard Time. And let me bring up my fancy in card. Where's my in card? There it is. Okay. So everybody, thank y'all again for participating in the live stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, the ducks are very, very cute. So I appreciate everybody, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all next week. And until then, happy bending.